I'm gonna start it and let you.
Let's see. Here we go. All right, I think I got most everybody in it.
These few things.
All righty. I think we're live.
We're up.
It is Monday.
Wait.
Good batteries. She just practiced. It's 10 a.m., Monday, February the 9th of 2026. I'll make a motion that the regular meeting of the Navarro County Commissioners Court come to order.
Motion made by Commissioner Brent, seconded by Commissioner Perry. All in favor, please say aye. Are in session. I ask everyone to please stand for opening prayer, followed by pledge of allegiance to both flags. If you want, you'll lead us, please.
Father in heaven, we acknowledge you as the true and living God, the creator of all mankind. Father, we ask for you to be with us this morning, guide our minds and give us wisdom and knowledge that we may conduct business for the county, best for the people. Father, be with our road crews as they're out working this morning. Keep them safe and be with our first responders. Forgive us of our sins. Through Jesus Christ's name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Join me for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The Texas flag.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
You may be seated. All right, public comments, Cindy Hadaway.
Okay. My name is Cindy Hadaway. I'm from Precinct 2, but I'm here to oppose the solar farm that was put before the zoning commission recently. Number one, I understand that it is within the 5,000 feet of the lake, and even though the commissioners can override and give a variance, that doesn't mean that just because you can, that you should do it. The 5,000 foot line was put down there for a particular reason. It's just like me, I'm on the board of an HOA. That doesn't...
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
It's all right. You know, we all have deeds and restrictions, but that doesn't mean just because I'm on the board that I should ignore those. Matter of fact, if I did, I'd get in a whole lot of trouble from the people that I live around. But with these solar farms, some of them have batteries connected to them. Batteries can be a fire hazard locally, and I'm not sure that our volunteer fire department that are around the lake can handle any kind of solar fires from that. And the next thing that they would ask for is tax abatements. That seems to be what happens around here. And if you continue to let solar farms creep in on the lake, you're gonna lose the value of the lake. The lake is, you know, one of Navarro County's little gold mines, but I guarantee you a few years ago when I was looking for a house, had it been next to a solar farm or anywhere close to one of these data centers, I wouldn't have bought down here. So please keep our lakes and our property values, you know, in good standing. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Lori Younger.
Hi, good morning.
Morning.
I sent every one of you a letter, except for you, Judge. And, but I just had a few words I wanted to say again to oppose the zoning change that's item 12 on your agenda. This lake is not just a body of water on a map, it's where our community breathes. It's where families gather, children learn what quiet sounds like, where sunrise reflects off water, not panels, and reminds us that some things are worth protecting. The 5,000-foot buffer zone that excludes industrial development is protection worth fighting for. It's working every day, filtering runoff, protecting water quality, buffering noise, preserving wildlife habitat, and maintaining the peace that draws people here in the first place. Once this buffer is lost, it will be gone forever. Industrial development does not coexist with tranquility, it replaces it. And what once was a refuge becomes something else entirely, and no mitigation plan can restore it once it's permanently lost. There are over 60 named lake developments and communities with families and voters. There are at least 15 businesses that are lake-centric, not to mention the fishing and hunting guides that also work that lake. If that becomes an industrial zone, all that is lost. ERCOT's website says that in February of 2026, or as of February 2026, there are 867 solar projects in Texas in development. We're asking that you don't change the zoning within that 5,000 feet of the lake to allow industrial development such as solar projects. This is not gonna be the one solar project that saves the grid. Anyway, some places should remain quiet, some views should remain uninterrupted. Some decisions should be guided not by what we can change, like Cindy said, but what we should not. And this lake is one of those places. Please help us keep it and save it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, that was all who had chosen to speak. Next up is our consent agenda, items 5 through 8. That we can talk about any one of them if we need to. If not, just need someone to make the motion to accept this consent agenda as a whole.
I move that we approve the consent agenda as a whole. Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Moore, seconded by Commissioner Brewer. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. So for our regular agenda item, number 9 is consideration of burn ban. That's what they from my pastor burn off.
We've been quiet enough for fires in my area.
I saw them this morning over towards the house.
We had one within a mile of my hay that got stepped up.
Don't lose that, guarantee you.
Judge, I can tell you for the emergency service district, I know we had the ban the first 2 weeks, and then it was lifted. We made up for it those last 2 weeks of the month.
Really?
Yeah. Just as many as we would have had, so.
If you ever watched dead broom weeds go up,
I'm
it's
sorry.
like, if you ever watch dead broom weeds go up,
Yeah.
it's like napalm, literally. It's hot and it's fast, and so.
Well, then we need to reconvene that burn ban. Welcome a motion from the.
I haven't looked at the index, so I don't know what it says.
Yeah.
Eddie, I looked at the index, and the index, was not that bad. The problem is, I mean, that index is checking the soil moisture, not the fuel. And the fuel's all like September coming out of a bad summer, cause everything's dormant. So, you know, we got the precip with the ice storm, so the soil is not in that bad a shape. But all the tinder and fuel for those fires, all it takes is a spark and it goes. And like other folks have said, we've had a lot of fires. And our poor volunteer fire departments are stretched.
Well, we got some chances of rain this week and this weekend, so maybe next meeting, we can take it off again if we have to put it back on the bid. I'll make a motion that we enact right now.
I'll second. Motion to enact the, burn ban made by Commissioner Grant, seconded by Commissioner Terry. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you for your input. Appreciate you. Item 10, I guess where we are today. Consideration of approving the sale of fireworks for Texas Independence Day, March 2nd, 2026.
Make a motion that we approve the sale of fireworks for Texas Independence Day.
Second. Motion by Commissioner Brewer, seconded by Commissioner Moore. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Number 11, consideration of approving an estimate for Triple S Construction in the amount of $34,472.74 to remodel and repair bathrooms for NCSO Sheriff's Department. Bad when you gotta do that. Anybody want to talk about that? Anybody know anything about that? Okay, y'all don't either? Well, if they've gone to that much trouble to.
Is there a budget for that this year?
Figures.
Is it in the budget?
I know nothing about it.
Gotta be. Charles, where do you put that?
I mean, you haven't, this is the first time I'm seeing it.
Charles is our auditor, so
Yes,
we have to ask him.
I mean,
These questions.
they're very good at looking at their budget, so I would expect it, but I don't have it right in front of me to check. I can,
You may table it, they're pretty good about coming over here when they have something on the agenda, so maybe by the time we get down here,
yeah.
they'll be here.
Okay, all right, we'll pass on it for right now then.
Come back to it.
Yep. And moves on to number 12, which is consideration of approving a zoning district change from agriculture to industrial for Arthur Bancroft and Orca Fall Solar LLC.
Good morning,
Good
gentlemen.
morning, sir.
This was application made through, zoning district for the, zoning ordinance that's in place around the lake. It went to P and Z hearing on February 5th. Commissioners looked at it, voted on it. We did have one letter that was presented to us in opposition. We had, one phone call that was in opposition to it. It does fit within the lake area zoning ordinance guidelines. They have met all the requirements for that, and they're here this morning asking that the commissioners extend it to the, in other words, go ahead and approve it. What it basically amounts to is Orca Falls Solar acquired the original M Flat solar project that was there, and this is an extension to what they had already been approved for. It would be 3 of Arthur Bancroft's tracks, which all fall within the lake area jurisdiction. And like I say, it does meet everything there. The commissioners voted on it. No one was in opposition to it at that hearing, and all the commissioners voted for that zoning change. And Mr. Bancroft and Orca Falls are asking for y'all to do the same. Basically, to pass, just give him authorization to extend what's already there.
Okay.
How much land are we talking about?
It's, 3 tracks that are right at 150 total. There's 3 tracks, 55 acres, 65 acres, and 50 acres, about 160 in total.
Can I ask
where that territory is?
That is, near the Powell area. They're just outside the city limits of Powell, but within the zoning area.
You know, is it like County Road 0090, 0080, or something like that? I'm sorry to interrupt. Thank you.
So was there a zoning change done for the first part?
Yes, it was approved back June of 2025. And that encompassed several acres, more than 150.
But it was not within the 5,000 foot.
Parts of it was and parts of it was not. We approved it, like I say, the zoning commission approved that, the original back June of 2025, everything that was impacted by the lakeshore area zoning.
But these three sections, all of them are within that
All-
5,000 foot?
They're totally within the zone area.
Okay.
Well, over the weekend, I've got probably 50 emails, 100 texts, and I don't even know how many calls, and not a one of them was for it, everyone was opposed.
Right. Part of what I do is send out notifications to adjacent property owners.
I didn't get one, and I'm right across the street from it.
It should be within 200 feet of the property.
I'm literally across the street from it, and I got no notification.
And you can't find your calendar on the county website, so you can stay abreast of that stuff.
I have to speak with IT about that, I'm not sure.
Just saying.
I mean, I can't leave my driveway without seeing it, and I got no notification of it.
Make every effort I could to get everybody's.
Not good enough, apparently. I mean, it's not hard to find my place.
So this is an addition to the previous Elm Flat, so if this isn't approved, Arthur Bancroft can't add his on, but the existing project was approved, right, and would go forward?
Right, it was previously approved back in June of 2025. The parts within the lakeshore area. And what Mr. Bancroft is asking is an extension to that existing solar farm on his 3 tracks.
If I remember correct, this is south of 31,
It's
between 636 and 1393.
FM 639, is that what it is? What is it?
633.
633.
Where that train derailed?
Well,
Further toward Zion.
Pretty much in that curve down there, right, just south of Powell.
Down flat.
Stan, what was the purpose of this 5,000 foot area around the lake?
It was to protect, subdivisions, residences, people, property rights, things like that.
That's what I was thinking.
But again, I mean, they have approached and satisfied everything within that zoning ordinance to ask for that zoning change.
Was there ever environmental impact study done on having those, because I mean, they're full of toxic, waste basically, to drain into the lake, and that lake water, not just because I live out there, but it's Tarrant County's drinking water. And I think, of course, Vienna takes water from it too.
Hi, my name's David. I work for Headwater Energy. We're developing the solar farm, so I'm happy to answer any questions you all may have. Like Mr. Stanley was saying, it's just a portion of the 3 parcels that Mr. Sonny Bancroft owns, so it's not the entire parcels. It would be a little less than 100 acres, I believe, that's within the Lake District.
And our
problem is that once you continue to keep changing the zoning within our protected area, it just keeps going. The next thing you know, we're gonna have 500 acres for a data center, and then more solar panels, and then maybe some battery storage.
And we're seeing it here today, and the justification is it's been done already, so let's just go ahead and add more of them, because you've already set the precedent that besides the zoning change, they've complied with what's required, and we've already done it in the past. And, I
We
mean,
don't know
that's,
how to stop that.
that's the snowball effect.
Zoning changes or not changes is the only way we can protect it.
What do y'all think?
I've had nothing but opposition on it. I have not had one person contact me for it.
And just so y'all know, we don't invite solar companies here. We can't tell people what they can and cannot do on their own land. We don't invite them here. And the only thing that we have control over for the most part is whether we're gonna give them an abatement or not, which we usually don't. Or changing the zoning issue is this, like you're implying, like you're, talking about. I'm not for either. I'm not for solar panels, period. But just so y'all know, there's a misconception out there that we go out there and invite all these windmill and solar people. We don't do that. We don't want them here any more than anybody else does. Now, if I had them coming on my land, yeah, I probably would, but I don't. You know, so I don't got on somebody else's place. But I just want y'all to know, we don't go out and recruit these people to come here, and that's a misconception in Navarro County. It's no different than somebody coming here and saying, I'm fixing to open a pig farm. Can't tell them they can, or if they can or they can't, it's their property. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, and we don't wanna fight about solar, or whether it's good, bad, or whatever. We're just fighting for the zoning around our lake.
How large is this solar project?
Yeah, I'm happy to speak a little more on it. It'll be 1,100 acres total, all on property owned by, I think, 5 different landowners in that area. We're planning to start construction this summer. Should be completed by fall 2027. Should create 3 to 5 permanent jobs, 125 temporary jobs, and bring in $15 million to the county in the first 15 years.
And tear up your road.
Yeah, you plan
That are
on
already
doing
tore
roads
up.
for the
And so, in the grand scheme of things, this 150 acres is not gonna make or break this project. It's within the 5,000 foot zone that they're asking for.
We've already submitted to Encore Energy for the power purchase agreement, and so we have a lot of wheels in motion at the size that Encore has allowed in that area. And so we needed the extra acreage to meet that, to meet what Encore was allowing.
Are you gonna put in a paved road?
I don't think there will be any.
Well, it's gonna be dirt, and then what will that do for your solar panels? It's a dirt road.
They're fronting a farm road right now. That's the only thing that's impacted.
They're doing what?
It impacts a farm to market road right now. The existing ones that you're talking about was already approved in, June last year, we were asking about the county roads and things of that nature.
I am asking about the county roads, cause that's what I live on, and it's a dirt road, and, you know, if it's gonna kick up a bunch of dust, how will that affect your efficiency of the solar panels? So, I mean, my suggestion is if you're gonna do it, pave the roads.
You know, you were talking about you don't invite all the, solar companies to come here, but, you know, they have. And so how does the county, what does the county get out of that for letting them come to get, they get taxed?
Yes, ma'am. Like, the one
Commercial property tax.
The NL, the one in Elm Flat, if you're familiar with where I'm talking, is actually the third largest taxpayer of the county.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
But I agree with Jason, I don't wanna look at them myself,
Yeah.
but they're here.
Another thing we also get from them, usually I've got one coming in precinct 4 right now, they're doing some major road improvements for us at their cost, and not the county's cost. One, about $20,000 bridge is being rebuilt and replaced, so it'll carry the load, so they can bring their equipment in. But
So it's not really out of the kindness of their heart, it's really so they can get.
oh yeah, you know, the residents there are gonna get better roads because of that.
Yeah.
But I didn't know anything about this 5,000 foot zone until I got your email last Friday. And I haven't had time to really look at it to understand exactly what that means. And what the impact is of that, and why even that's there, is to protect the lake and the area around it. I would like some more time to study it and see what the legal ramifications of
Pull
that.
your zoning ordinance, and it will, you actually have a preamble in there that's done by the commissioners that talks about why.
Okay.
And, that you acknowledge that, the primary, zoning around the lake is residential with some agriculture. And it's to protect all of that. I mean, I could read it all to you, but I won't bore you with that. It's,
Yeah, I'll need to read that, yeah, I'll pull that in. Yes, Mark.
Judge. Mark Archibald, NAVCO Chronicle. I just would like to clarify a few things from the individual representing the solar farm. So you said that there was an agreement between two entities. I think it was ERCOT, if I heard correctly, and your business.
Encore's gonna buy their power.
Yes, about that whole deal, right? That you needed the extra acreage to satisfy the requirements for that deal. Is that correct?
It's not, I wouldn't call it a requirement. There's enough line, or there's enough space on Encore's transmission line there to build a facility at the size that we have proposed.
Okay, so the project is not contingent upon these extra 160 acres.
I wouldn't say it's contingent, it's just the size that Encore would allow on that transmission line.
Okay.
So it's the maximal allowable that Encore would permit on that transmission line now?
I believe so, at that location and for a solar facility.
To me, the 5,000 foot buffer line is to protect the lake, just like an HOA is to protect the community. And if you have an HOA and somebody comes in and says, you can only do this, this, and this, unless you wanna do something else, then you do what you want. That's not the purpose of it, and the purpose of this 5,000 foot mark is to preserve the lake. Because this is kind of one of the big things we have in this county going for us. And, just to say, well, you can't move within this 5,000, you can't put a shipping container temporarily to store your stuff while you build your house. But we can do this. And to me, it's just, right now I'm short for words, but it's an oxymoron of saying, thou shalt not, do something else, you know. And, I don't know, that's just kind of where I'm at with the deal, that the whole purpose of the 5,000 foot area, because I have a lot of area in my precinct also in that 5,000 foot. And, how many lakes in Texas have their own planning and zoning?
My understanding is there's 7 bodies of water within Texas that approach legislature and got zoning ordinances in place through legislature.
Okay, so we're one of the few.
One of 7.
And the whole purpose of the planning and zoning area and the 5,000 foot is to protect the lake from encroachments.
It's to allow for the orderly development around the lake. That's the whole purpose of it.
There would be it would be a
To avoid what
negative,
happened at Cedar Creek Lake back in the 70s.
it would be a negative thing happen, like you said, I wouldn't buy across from a solar farm. You know, I hear that all the time because I probably wouldn't either, you know. I don't care how much money I'd go to another lake or I'd find something else to do, but, I don't know, that's where I'm at on this deal. It's the 150 acres within the 5,000 foot deal that
Yes, sir.
is the issue.
If I could just say, the other reason that we submitted for the zoning change and the expansion of the solar farm is that previously, when it was known as Elm Flats, the company that owned the project before us went through this process already and got the zoning change for another parcel that's a part of this project that's within 5,000 acres.
Because we weren't here.
And that's my exact point about the snowballing and the creeping effect, and you're using a prior zoning change to justify one that's being proposed now, and to me, that's strange logic and
I appreciate
self-defeating.
that. We saw it as a small incremental change on just 3 parcels that are not wholly within the zoning district, so I certainly appreciate the comments.
I would have appreciated some notification that this was even happening.
We did try to follow all of the zoning ordinance changes, submitting the paperwork and working with the county, so.
200 feet though is not a lot. 200 feet to notify people is not a lot of space.
I've heard that,
It's like walking
after
across your yard.
a solar farm has finished its, usage, 25, 30 years, that the land is not good for anything. Why in the world would you put something, on a property, and after 25 or 30 years, you can't plant anything, nothing will grow? Just doesn't make sense.
I have not heard that.
Yeah.
Maybe it's true, but I've heard you put goats, I mean, not goats, but sheep in it and keep it eaten down, you know, so it's not a fire hazard and that sort of thing, but I haven't heard that.
I'm also happy to speak to that. There's money set aside for the solar farm at the end of its useful life, which is generally around 40 years, for the complete kind of removing of all the facility and returning it back to the land the way it was before construction began.
So does that mean removing hazardous waste that I've
Any
So-
hazardous
so-
waste. I'm also happy to speak to that. I mean, there's really not many hazardous chemicals in solar panels, and they're all, everything is
They're all
self-contained
plastic.
within them. So there's nothing leaching out of them.
Not even if the glass was broke?
If the glass was broken, there's not hazardous chemicals
What
in
about
them that would leach in.
What if a class 5 tornado went through that solar farm and blew those panels 2 miles into the lake? There's no heavy metals and stuff in the solar panels?
It's a good question. We go through rigorous engineering processes for every area where we build a solar facility, so that the racking and the panels and everything is fixed into the ground and into the racking properly for weather events like that.
A glass panel would survive
Well,
a major
panels
tornado?
do break, and we have to go in and replace the panels when they break. Because as soon as a panel is broken, it doesn't produce electricity anymore. So whenever there's broken panels, they are fairly quickly swapped out for new ones. And recycled.
Even if it is in the lake.
Someone was kind enough to put my phone number on Facebook, and I just got 3 more against text.
I did not do that. I did not.
You might be the reason why I'm here though, so there's that.
I guess a question about the county roads, because if I remember, this is gonna be northeast of the existing Bluebonnet fence or whatever, and which was built right on 1393, and we live just south of that. So when I saw the original maps for Elm Flat, it looked to me like most of the construction traffic that would come in on 633, is that correct? Is that the county road that would be most impacted, or?
That's a state highway.
Right, okay. Does that look like where they would most likely access it, like they did on 1393 when they built that big on the field?
Yes.
Okay. And this,
Commissioner Moore,
I'm sorry.
oh, excuse me, Commissioner Moore, Commissioner Perry, since there's a lot of questions on this, and I, for one, I kind of feel like Forrest Gump, I'm not a smart man. I wasn't aware until Friday of this, 5,000 foot, watershed ordinance or zoning. I'd like a little time to study it, and I'd like to sit down with Stan and maybe with Terry, planning and zoning, and just to inform me what we're doing here before we do one thing one way or another. So I'd make a suggestion that we might table this for 2 weeks, give us time to study it and see what we need to do, so we can be fair to everyone.
Like to make that motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we table, item 12 until the next Commissioners Court meeting.
You have a second?
I'll second.
Motion made by Commissioner Brewer, seconded by Commissioner Moore to table. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
All opposed.
All opposed? Okay.
Grant and Perry opposed.
You opposed?
Grant and Perry. I heard only one.
Both of y'all?
Mhm.
Okay. All right, good. Note that.
My biggest concern is the whole purpose of the 5,000 foot area around the lake. I mean, was it there for a purpose? Or just, like I said, unless you wanna do something different in there, we can make arrangements. But it sounds good, it looks good on paper, but really, we're not gonna buy that.
Okay, all in favor of, the, tabling this item 12, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed or but? It's gonna be on site, right? And I'm gonna break it and say, I'll go with you guys that we table it for, okay?
How'd you vote, Judge?
Motion table.
Excuse me, Judge, so it's tabled till the next county commissioner meeting, no action will be taken prior to
Yes.
that, right?
Correct.
So we just need to plan on being back here at the next meeting, got it?
Yes, sir. Correct. All right. On to number 13, which is consideration of approving a replat of Hardon Edition Track 6 for Manrique and Lino Ruiz.
Judge,
Yes, sir.
you wanna go back and pick up, number 11, since the sheriff's here?
Yes, yes, I do. Thank you. Thank you. All right. In other words, I'm gonna read it into the record, again. Consideration of approving an estimate for triple S construction in the amount of $34,472.74 to remodel and repair bathrooms for NCSO.
Y'all have any questions?
Is it for, bathrooms in the jail? or
No, it's
bathrooms
for the
front?
one in the front office.
In the best, in
Yes.
the.
Where, in our offices, not in the hallway.
Okay.
Yeah, the box, obviously I need to put everybody in, admin and everything.
It didn't say on here where
Right.
they were at.
I will clarify, this is an emergency situation. This is not something that we could have foreseen. It has manifested itself because of an internal leak in a wall. So we could not budget for it and have not budgeted for it, but it is a necessary repair. It is an emergency contingency.
It's not gonna really affect the woman's, so you're only looking at the 17,236. Now, there is a little bit of work that needs to be done in there. I'm gonna have them do that as well. So it's mainly just the men's, but if when they get into the wall, they have to do something with the females, I gotta go ahead and do it.
So it'll be closer to this up here, worst case scenario, we can
Yes.
do this down here.
It is the men's restroom for the officers that are in the Justice Center. It's not the public bathroom, it is for the officers in the Justice Center. But it is also backing up to the female officers' restrooms. And to really understand the complexity of the project and prepare for whatever they may incur, they can't see it if the female side has been affected until they go in there to begin the repair. So there's a
Correct.
contingency in there in the event they do find damage or destruction to the women's restroom. The time to fix it is when they're in there. So that's where we're at.
X equals the unknown sum.
That's correct.
All right, need a
Prepare for the worst.
Anything else you need to tell
No,
us?
sir.
Okay. Need a motion, John.
I'll make a motion of approving an estimate for Triple S Construction in the amount of $34,472.74 to remodel and repair the bathrooms at NCSO.
Second. Motion made by Commissioner Perry, seconded by Commissioner Grant. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, go back down here to number 14, I believe.
13.
13, okay, thank you. Consideration of approving a replat of Herdon addition, track 6 for, Manrique and Lino Ruiz.
Yes, gentlemen, this is gonna be a precinct 1, basically taking about a little over 9-acre tract, split it right down the center. They're gonna create a 4.625-acre tract on either side of that split. And they're asking the county commissioner just wanting for approval to go ahead with that replat. It does fit within the state and local guidelines for subdivisions and for, septic system purposes.
Is this a private road, Stanley?
That is.
That
Yes,
Wilson
yes.
Ranch Road?
Yes, it is.
I make a motion that we approve the replat for Herndon Edition Track 6 for Enrique and Lino Ruiz.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Grant, seconded by Commissioner Perry. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Number 14 is consideration of approving a replat of Northtown Acres Lot 24 for Sunrise Bridge Properties Management.
Yes, sir, they're taking an existing tract and proposing four tracks within that one original tract. It will meet the, 1 acre net area each for the septic system regulations that the county got implemented. It does fit the subdivision guidelines also. And again, they're asking for approval of their replat.
What precinct is
That's
this?
gonna be precinct 1 again also.
It's
Jason got lucky, he got all
Of
the
course,
rest.
it's always mine, and just so y'all know, we don't invite these subdivision people here either. They coming way faster than the solar farms are, we can't stop them. I'll make a motion that we consider approving a replat for Northtown Acres Lot 24 for Sunrise Group Properties Management.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Grant, seconded by Commissioner Moore. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, number 15 is consideration of approving final plat of Prairie Land Addition for Triple Ridge Investments LLC.
That one, the developer asked me to table, or if the commissioners would table. He has some issues with, survey. Everything fit within the guidelines, but he had one statement that he wanted to have removed from it, so he asked me this morning to see if we could table it.
Need a motion, gentlemen?
I'll make a motion of, we table number 15, the final plat of Prairie Land Addition for Triple Ridge Investments.
Motion tabled by Commissioner Perry, seconded by Commissioner Moore. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It will be tabled. 16, consideration of approving the final plat of Meadows subdivision for Jonathan Jasniak Jazz Land LLC.
Yes, sir, this is a 84 acre, almost 85 acre tract, proposing 36 tracks within that area, that acreage. There will be a private road, Jazz Lane, created, and it will be under the, maintenance of the existing property owners through deed, through contract for repairs to that roadway. County will not have any liability for that road at all. It does meet state and local guidelines for subdivisions. The only other issue that I need to bring up is that this is through a groundwater, project. In other words, each property owner will be responsible for their own private well. There was a groundwater availability certificate submitted with this application, and it does meet everything within that certification. Power can be provided through, the local power companies. It does meet all state and local regulations for subdivisions, and also, the septic system. And they're asking this morning for commissioner's approval of that subdivision.
So what are they gonna do on septic systems? They gonna install one, or?
Well, each property owner would be responsible for their own septic.
Has there been a water study done on availability out there on this property?
Yes, it's called groundwater availability certificate. They've got that through engineer. And that's what this is here.
I'm happy to answer any questions about it. I'm the developer.
Okay. Yeah, groundwater, our water system is getting to be a major subject in Texas. And you can live 3 weeks without food, but you can't live 3 days without water. I mean, if you ain't got water, you die.
This is in the Trinity River bottom.
Okay.
And another point is each tract is in excess of 2 acres to accommodate that groundwater, water well, private well, and a septic system, both located within the park.
And the engineer is satisfying you that all 36 lots will have plenty of water.
This is a really extensive certificate, yes, sir. It's
It's the
showing
thickest one I've ever seen.
Yeah, it meets all
We actually found great wells out there. We were very surprised. Relatively shallow, 250 to 290 foot deep. It's technically in the Natchitoches sand aquifer. Quality was fine. Very pleased with the quantity. Obviously, the extensive report. I use a licensed hydrologist engineer, Mr. Brian Bannister. He compiled that massive report. All goes into modeling. They do drawdown forecasts, well spacing, the whole 9 yards, and more than satisfied the requirement for the GAC certificate. The drawdown was actually on the aquifer pretty minimal for what he was showing.
I don't see any deed restrictions in here.
There are deed restrictions, yes, sir.
I have them with me right here as well.
I don't have a copy of it. Oh, here we go. Y'all give me just a minute.
And the developer is the one who enforces the deed restrictions,
Yes, sir.
not the county. I wish
It
we
will-
could.
It will be the developer and mostly the landowners themselves.
So do you already have some of the, there on 1129 where there's already some, like there's already some homes, there's already some driveways, or this is further, going further east?
This is just west of the 1129-636 intersection, and this is currently just raw, unimproved land. I don't have any other acreage or houses or land.
So
out
you're
there.
between 636 and 1603?
Where is 1603? It would be
That's Chatfield.
yeah, so it's right where 636 Ys with 1129.
Okay.
And it's probably a half mile to a mile southwest on 1129.
So you're not towards Rome, more towards Chatfield,
More towards Rome.
more towards Rome.
Yes, sir.
South of the
In between, kind of in between Roan and the 1129-636 intersection, but
Okay.
more towards the intersection.
He's on 1129, right between northeast 200 and northeast 201, right there in that curve.
Going back towards Rome.
On the southeast side of 1129, south side. I must note that TxDOT has required us to put in 2 turning lanes. We're finalizing engineering plans for that. There'll be a right and left-hand turn lane out there. Obviously, I'll be responsible for the cost of that. we will have to do that and have it all permitted and everything. My engineers are finalizing the plans for TxDOT on that.
So on your livestock, what do you got 2 acre, these are 2 acre lots, right?
Yes, sir.
Or something? What is your, I mean, you said excessive amounts. I would like to clarify that number a little bit better.
Okay.
You know, it's one thing to have 50 chickens, another thing to have 50 cows.
Sure. I mean, I'm open for interpretation or critique on that. Obviously.
Can you show them some examples of our other ones, Stanley?
I will.
I'd like to change something there, and then also if you could on this, 15 years or older mobile homes, maybe drop that to like 10.
Okay.
Something like that. And if you wanna come up with the numbers on the restrictions, we can do that right now, or we can do this again another day.
I mean, I'm fine with the 10-year on the mobile home. I can certainly do that.
I mean, obviously, you can't run livestock on 2 acres, is what I'm trying to say.
Yes,
It's
sir.
different if a man's got a horse or 2 out there, but he's got 4 or 5 cows, you know what I'm saying?
A bunch of goats.
20 goats. Why don't you just look at it, an
Okay.
example, let's do this again.
The restrictions can be filed at a later date, yes, sir.
Yeah, they can.
That's fine, I'll approve it contingent on approving the new restrictions.
Okay.
Okay.
Make that motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve the final plat for Prairie Land Addition for Triple Ridge Investments LLC.
Jason, I'm sorry, that's.
I'm sorry, I'm on the wrong
Number 16.
Final plat of Jazz Meadow subdivision for Jonathan, is it Jazznet?
Yes, sir.
Jazzland LLC contingent on, finalizing deed restrictions.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Grant, seconded by Commissioner Brewer. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you. Number 17 is consideration of approving Navarro County Courthouse smoking area policy.
Boy, y'all thought that solar stuff was. You thought that was something, get on this right here.
Yeah.
This is where the controversy is.
Basically, it's just saying it's gonna be over on the northeast corner of the courthouse, which would eliminate a lot of the people that things may have not went well in court, and when they go outside and throw a fit, our smokers are out here, and we kinda eliminate that with them.
So the going under over here is out?
It's too close to windows over there, Jason.
Well, I know what the next thing's gonna be, we'll have to build them something to stand under.
They don't have anything to stand underneath right now. There's nothing over there that's protecting them from rain hitting their head.
So how far out in that area are we talking about doing this?
It's just right here where there's a bench and right by the memorial. It's right here.
Okay, out that side.
Spitting distance.
Gotcha, okay.
That's where we talked to Travis. He's got this, thing to put the smoke buds in. There's a bench. It's away from the door, so when people walk in and out. Protects our officers at the front so they don't have to smell it.
I'm gonna be the bad guy. How many people in this room smoke? Smoking is a choice. Breathing is not. And so, to make exceptions for a lot of these things. It's kind of, be happy with it.
Well, I'm just thinking, they're smoking now close to the courthouse, but if you put them out there, might be fine if there's no rain, but if there's rain, they're gonna come back, right back to the courthouse and smoke probably.
You enjoy smoking.
In my opinion. And that and a dollar to get you a Dr. Pepper.
You buy your Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, not in the courthouse.
I guarantee you that.
$2 for water.
Anyway,
All right, what are we gonna do?
Well, I'll make a motion of approving the Bragg County Courthouse smoking area policy.
I'll second it.
Motion made by Commissioner Perry, seconded by Commissioner Brewer. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. 18 is consideration of approving the updated travel policy.
Can we table that, Judge?
Table it? Sure.
I make a motion that we table number 18.
Thank you.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Grant to table, seconded by Commissioner Perry. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 19, is that correct, John?
Yep.
Okay. Consideration of approving a request from Gary Ramsey for the replacement of existing culverts on Southeast County Road 2135 with all cost and work to be his responsibility.
yes, that's a road out at the lake area. And he's putting in a subdivision and he wanted these culverts put in ASP. And I just told him, we can't do it. And he said, well, I'll do it at my cost. So I bought the culverts and I'll supervise the replacement with his equipment and his men to make sure that it's done to county specs.
Okay. Make that.
Sure do.
Are there any other comments on this?
Send it my way.
Yeah, that's what I said. People ask me, says, can I fix my road in front of my house? I said, knock yourself out. And when we lived out of Dresden, I used to drag an I-beam up and down the road behind my four-wheeler. You say, well, that's a little better.
Smooth it. Yeah.
Because I understand that the motor graders can only be one place at a time. And if it's not on your road, they're on another road. Anyway, I move that we approve the request from Gary Ramsey for the replacement of existing culverts on SE County Road 2135 with all the cost and work be his responsibility.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Moore, seconded by Commissioner Grant. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Number 20, consideration of approving an amended road use agreement to exclude Northwest County Road 2280 for BDPU solar in precinct 4.
Yeah, this is a solar project on Calico Ranch, and, they have amended, we've already done the road use agreement. They put up 1.35 million in road bond, to ensure that if they damage the roads, we can fix them. But they're taking 2280 off of their use agreement. They're not gonna try to upgrade that road to move their trucks in and out, and they wanted that taken off. So it shows that they're not gonna be traveling that roadway. And they need that for their, for their their construction superintendents and stuff, so that they can enforce that with the drivers. There's gonna be literally hundreds of trucks this summer going through there with equipment for that. So I'll make a motion that we approve the amended road use agreement to exclude Northwest County Road 2280 for BDPU solar in precinct 4. Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Brewer, seconded by Commissioner Moore. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Number 21 is executive session pursuant to the Texas Government Code section 551.071, parentheses 2, to confer regarding matters which are privileged pursuant to the attorney-client privilege.
Judge, is there a way that we can switch 23 with 21, just because I'd like, I think it's gonna be a little bit shorter.
Okay.
And that way the sheriff's office can return to duties more pressing than sitting outside.
Okay, so item 23 is executive session pursuant to the Texas Government Code, section 551.076, to discuss security devices or security audit. Need a motion to go into that, please.
It's 11:01 on February the 9th, and I make a motion that we go into executive session pursuant to Texas Government Code, section 551.076, to discuss security devices or security audit. Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Brewer, seconded by Commissioner Moore. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And we are in session. Thank y'all for coming. What are you doing? Oh, we're letting you
Let me turn that for you. Yeah. I've had a miserable day at work here.